What's up, guys? Back with another build video. This one isn't going to be so much from scratch, but it's going to show you how you can lay out a achievements page in your own personal dashboard, or if you want to see how Life Game Design is built, same thing. Let me turn down my music that I'm playing. Life Game Design is a productivity and life management app made for gamers and built for gamers. So basically, literally every Notion template that I found that has a project and task manager will put everything into an archive after you're done, because it's based on business style productivity where you don't credit yourself for your achievements, you only look to what is next. Kind of like the typical rat race mentality. Whereas if we implement game design, whenever you achieve something in a game, the game designer wants to show you what you've done. They want to credit you for what you've done, because they know that action will intrinsically motivate you to do more. And so what we're going to do now is basically do the same thing with our projects, and it's really easy. All we need, let me open up our mini guide here. All we need, and you can do this for your own project manager, is you need a status option that shows achieved. Let me get an in-depth guide to show you project status. Okay, so these are the 6 status options for projects. Let me pull this up a bit higher, make sure you can see. In here, there is the bucketed. This is to do with your vision board, awaiting, actioning, and focusing. These are all things that you are going to do this year, or you're doing this year. Achieved is everything that you are proud of that you've achieved, and archived is anything that you either cancelled or you don't want to show on your achievements board. So you can deal with more sensitive projects and not have them show up on this achievements board that we're making. But basically, for you to do this for yourself, all you need is a achieved and an archived status option for your projects. So what we want to do is be able to show off all the things that we've done in our lives and rack up these achievements and get them to show us, what we're doing with our lives and what areas of our lives that we're improving in. And that's pretty much what I've implemented in Life Game Design, and it's already live in Life Game Design Lite. If you check out the link in the description, you can see it there. But I'm pretty much polishing this to be in the pro version, which is what we're building today. So I'm gonna get straight into it. I already have kind of like the skeleton of the build. So essentially I want this to show my achievements in 3 main different ways. Well, it's actually going to be 4, because our tasks are going to count as well, but I haven't updated that yet. So if I go to OctaCore here, this is going to show my achievements based on all these different areas of life, based on the OctaCore framework that I created to understand, organize, and optimize every area of your life. Too much for me to explain in this video. You want to go to the link in the description and figure out and learn about OctaCore. But basically, it's an attribute system for life, just like how there are attribute system for games. We need an attribute system for life to know exactly what we should be focusing on, regardless of who's telling us what to do. We need to figure that for ourselves. Okay. And then the final element of this achievements is a tier list. So we can subjectively rank the things that are the most meaningful to us in a very simple tier list that goes diamond, gold, silver, and bronze. And by doing this, we figure out what memories and milestones that we hit are the most fulfilling to us. Because if we find what is most fulfilling to us, we would be motivated to do more of it. It's a really simple principle of game design. Okay. Let's get stuck into the build. And so the first thing I need to make is the home page, and this is very outdated, so I actually need to get rid of this. And what we're going to do instead is have a linked view of the database for our database dashboard. Dashboards database. I'm going to show you what it looks like. So in the previous build, we made our normal dashboards here. And now we're going to do our just achievements dashboard here. And so achievements is a whole separate section from the core dashboards. So what I want to do is build a linked view of the database that only shows me these. It shows me my achievements, the OctaCore achievements, and task achievements, and the main page itself. So I'm going to press /linked database to do that, I'm going to pull up the dashboards database, and I'm just going to borrow a view that we had previously, but we're going to change it. So I want this to be a gallery view, and I'm going to change the filter to contain achievements and get rid of the old thing. Okay, cool. So we've got 3 at the moment, but I want it to show this main page too. And so to do that, just filter it to where the name contains the name of this page. So I'll copy that and put that in the filter. Oh, and I'll do OR. Cool. Now that's sorted, I want to rearrange these to match how we're going to lay it out. So I'll have OctaCore here, I'll have the tier list here, and tasks last. And so to simulate what we've got going on here, I'm just going to pull up my reference from the Lite version because I've already built this once. What I'm going to do is just get rid of this, put a space in there so there's no name, change the icon to a trophy. And now this is how I want the page to be laid out. You see this is like the achievements dashboard, and like all the other dashboards in Life Game Design, which is navigated through these main buttons over here that show you which page you're on. You can see where you're at, and it will always take you to this style of page. We're actually going to get rid of this because that's old. And so basically, yeah, it will show you a whole bunch of cards that show what you're about to do in each section of the app. Okay, so what I want to do now is, this is pretty much already set. I'm going to get rid of some of these extra views that I had, because in this main achievements page, I want you to be able to navigate the more granulated views of each of these. So if I click into OctaCore achievements, and I've got to make the page layout open in full page. If I click on OctaCore achievements, I want it to show me very in-depth views of just my OctaCore achievements. So you've got a basic view here, and you've got a tier per tier. So let's go back to the achievements page. It looks a bit messy at the start with how this navigation is working because I haven't updated it yet. So that's what we're going to do. But first, we're going to set the main views on this page. So over here are the standard parts of like your projects, and basically you want to be able to see your active projects, which would be focusing, actioning, and awaiting, and also see all of your projects and have a quick search button. So these are going to be pretty much like mandatory in every view. And then we have the actual achievements page. We also have this toggle that's going to teach us how to use our achievements. And I'm going to get rid of that. And we're also going to have database fluid explanations telling us what all of this means. And also we're going to have these mini guides. So if we ever forget what achievements are or how projects work, we can open these up and navigate these all without leaving the page that we were on. Okay. So that's already set. Let's just polish this up. I'm going to check the filters. So all you need to do is have the status as achieved, and then you want to do a reverse chronological list. You want the project date to be descending, so it shows you what you've did more recently than later. So I'm going to check the sort. Let's redo that. So the date is descending. Okay. Cool, so we've got that. And now I want to keep the group as status, so it shows like this. And that's fine. I just want to check the properties that I want to show. So I want to show the OctaCore status, tier list, the date, and this progress bar. So that looks all good. We're going to leave it like that. For our OctaCore view, we're going to have the same layout. Just going to move this up. That looks good. And our tier list is the same. So this is the most basic way to look at all 3 of these. But if you want to go more in depth on either of these frameworks, then you can do that. So I'm going to just check the sorting is good and get rid of this. I used to filter it by how many days, but if you haven't had achievements in a while, then that means that you won't be able to see anything, and it's kind of sad, even though you have done stuff. So I want the load limit set to 25 pages so that we don't just get bombarded with a whole bunch of stuff. So 25 pages is a good mark off. And then I'm just going to check the filters here, get rid of this day specific thing, and then we want to do this as descending. Okay. Cool, so this is our main landing page for how this is going to work. And so clicking this is like, you know, you're in achievements. The only reason why I added this is because if you take it out, oh God, let's go back so I can show you. I've got to remove the whole thing, otherwise it blocks it. If I only have 3 here, it's just kind of awkward because you got this big empty space. So yeah, just to keep the aesthetic, I want to keep it like that. So I'm going to copy this back in to get that. Sweet as. Okay, so first off is our OctaCore achievements. And now we can get rid of this. I'm just going to see what my reference looks like. Okay, so now what I want to do is make a menu bar that is pretty much the duplication of what we were looking at here. So it's going to look like this. So we've got a bar like this, and then we make, I believe, quite a few columns. Okay, this was a bit hard to balance, so I'm just going to kind of copy and paste it off of my original, and then I'll show you how I did it. Alright, so if I make this wider, you'll be able to see it, and I just need to zoom out a bit. Cool. Okay, so there's a column here that you can see and a column here that you can see. And so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. And I just dragged them around to get this spacing nice and tight. And so this is what I want to use to set the frame of how I'm going to do this. So I search for the page that I'm going to use. So our first one is achievements, and we want to open them all in full page. Then we want to same with OctaCore achievements. Do that in full page. And the last one, I want the tasks. Cool, so I'm going to copy this, and it's going to be the header of each of these pages. So let's see what that looks like. Let me zoom in again a bit. And make this, I think we need to make this large. Cool, so it's nice and tight like that. Alright, so go to OctaCore, and now this goes at the top of the page, just under the icon menu bar. And so the yellow highlight will show us where we're at. And I want to change these to yellow as well to fit the theme. So I'm going to leave this to yellow too. So everything will follow a more achievement-oriented theme. Okay, so this page means that we're here, and this page means that we're here. If I click them, nothing happens, that's good. But what I want to happen is that if I go back to achievements here, it takes me back to this page. And then I'll get rid of this actually, because you don't need it on this main page, because we use this navigation here. But when you go to a different page, the navigation menu evolves at the top. So I'll get rid of this, and then you'll see it like a smooth transition here. Okay, so now we're in OctaCore, and first off I want to make sure that all the pages in OctaCore are set. So I need to make this identical with this, because it won't be yet. So I'm going to get rid of this old scheme and paste the new one. And now I need to just change the highlight, get rid of that, make it yellow. Okay, so if I flick between Let me just make the spacing all right. So if I flick between these, you can barely like notice the difference between flicking between these two, and that makes it a bit more seamless of an experience to go to, you know, these different sections. But also you can see it drastically change at the bottom here, because every page that you start off with, you want it to be a quite basic one, but then you go on to more complexity if you want to go deeper. So now I want to fix these up to match how we had it before. What I'm going to do is make sure these mini guides are here. So I'm just going to change the icon of this to suit what we're talking about. This is OctaCore. This mini guide will explain what the attributes are. And now if I delete this and just make sure that these are correct. Okay. And just check that my mini guides are linked properly. We're good. I'm just going to offer the user a projects mini guide because this is to do with projects. So I'm going to give them 4 so they know what's going on, just in case they forget how projects work. Okay, cool. So you've got all the mini guides that would give you most of the information about these views. And just to double check these, I want to check the filters and I want to check the sorts of each of these. So the way I've done this is that these are grouped by OctaCore, colored the columns. I've unchecked hiding empty groups because otherwise you only get to see what you have. Because these gaps are really important, because the whole point of life game design is that once you understand OctaCore and you use OctaCore to both organize your life and optimize it, by logging your achievements in all these different areas of life, you can intuitively see where your life is going. Whether you're spending your attention in your physical health and strength, whether you're spending your attention in experience, which is to do with leisure, or intelligence, which is to do with learning, planning, and also finance. So if there's gaps in any of these areas, it means that you have a lack in these areas because you're not putting achievements towards them. And so if we go through that route, that means we basically get an intuitive system to tell us how our lives are going. And that's exactly what you want from a system that's supposed to help you design a fulfilling life. All right, so I want to make sure that these filters are okay with these other sections. So I'm just going to quickly check them. And it looks like I've already done the work beforehand. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like from scratch if I duplicate this. And then, well, I won't duplicate it because that's cheating. I will create a new view and call it, or link it to projects. And I'll do a new table view, switch it to board. So we can just leave that called board there. And I want the project covers to show. First thing we always do is get rid of this ugly ass thing. And change the filter. So filter status to achieved. And then we want to sort the date to descending. So it will show us our most recent achievement first instead of our oldest achievement first. Okay, so now it looks like this. It's been sorted by achievement and we want to change that to OctaCore. So since I'm betting that your system won't use OctaCore, what you want to do is probably instead do a gallery layout where you could look at it like this. But if you do have a sorting system for maybe different areas of life, you could group it by that. So that's what we're going to do. So let me change back to a board. I'm going to group by OctaCore. Color the columns and leave hide empty groups unchecked. I'm going to go to properties. I'm going to show all the properties that I want to be shown there. So I want to see the OctaCore status, the tier list, and then the progress bars. So subproject progress and task progress. And I also want to see the date just above those. Okay, cool. So those are all the properties. Now, this kind of looks weird because it's just words. So I want the pictures to represent what we've done. So over here in the page layout, I'll go to the card preview and turn the covers on. I'm also gonna make the card size small So it means that I can fit them all into one view like this if I zoom out a bit. So I can see a whole board of the distribution of what my life looks like. Cool, so now I'm going to tidy them up, and this pretty much looks exactly how this looks, apart there's one small difference. Over here is the achieve section, so I want to subgroup by status and hide everything except for achieve things. And now it's pretty much exactly the same as how I have it here. And what I did here is I hid everything except for the pictures, so you can almost get like a vision board style version of this. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. So you know how to do that yourself if you want to replicate it. And in the tier list, I'll show you how to do a gallery, but this is pretty much it. I'm going to change the progress bars down so it's similar to all the other views. I think it makes it a lot more cleaner, otherwise you get a lot of staggering between these status options, which I don't want. And so that's fine there. Check the status filters, and they should be all fine. I also want a list, just in case that's a bit easier to do this by. And I want a list by the date as well that these were done. So no projects at the top and stuff like that. And we've also got these standard views that I mentioned. Okay, so that's all set up. I'm going to copy this to go to this advanced view. This is an advanced view of OctaCore. And I just want to make sure, yep, all I have to do is replace this, copy the text from here, and I'll take the database view explanations from here too, and get rid of this. Okay, let me just see if these are right. Yep, these are all correct. It explains what's going on here. Now what I can do is do a very advanced board, combining both the concept of the tier list and also the concept of OctaCore. And now I can see the most fulfilling things that I've done in these two metrics that can tell me, one, what area of my life am I looking at, and two, how fulfilling that thing was to me. So in terms of doing travel, you could have like a Japan trip here, you could have a trip to New Zealand here, where I'm from, because maybe it wasn't as good as Japan, and so you could have that there. And then you could see, yeah, which places you travel to were most meaningful to you, or, you know, break it up in all these different ways. You would have everything to do with leisure in here, so you could see not only trips and such, but, you know, movies you've watched, games you've played, anime, all those kind of things to do with entertainment, all in one spot and not mixed with things like work achievements or things like books you've read. Okay. So again, I just want to check the filters for these, check the status options. These are looking really good already. Okay. And this one is really cool because I want to show which year I did everything and also reference it to OctaCore as well. So to change how this works, you just want to go to the subgroup and change the subgroup here. And again, I've got these views without the words or anything, so it's just the pictures. Cool, we've got those lists that we saw in the other view. So a list by the OctaCore and a list by the date. Alright, that's sorted. Now our OctaCore is set. Now we need to adjust this tier list. So I'm going to copy this again because the tier list isn't updated. It looks like this, the old and uglier version. So let's get rid of that and put this in. Make it look the same and highlight the tier list. Make this yellow. Alright, so if I swap between these two now, it's very seamless, as you can see. Cool. So I'm going to go to my reference on the Lite version of Life Game Design and just see how I laid it out. So essentially these are quite similar. I'm going to leave this spacing like this, but I think I will add a extra column over here so that it just brings this a bit closer in. So to do that, I'm just going to duplicate this, which will move that there, and get rid of this, and then just space them out. You just want to make sure the spacing is even between all of them, as even as possible. Cool. And now I want to change the color to represent each tier. Alright, and so the highlighted color is going to represent how it actually looks. So what I want to do now is, again, just double check the spacing, and I think that's really good. And I'll copy this and just adjust it for each different view. So in the basic view, it's going to just be a basic view of all these different options, and it doesn't go into much granularity. But when we go into diamond, this is where it changes. I'm just going to get rid of this again and copy that. Cool. And now that we're in here, I've got to change the highlight. So purple background, and make this yellow. Okay, so if we switch between these two, you can see it's nice and seamless. But now we've got a whole bunch of expanded views on just our diamond achievements. So this is really cool. If you rack up a whole bunch of achievements and you figure out like these are the things that are the most meaningful to you, you get to, take pride in them and see them over here. And so you can see just a list of all your diamond things based on how recent they were. And you can also break them down by year. And instead, this will give you a chronological list. So you can see if you started off 2025 or whatever, let's put that in there too. This was in January, this was in July. And so now I can see how the year started and how it ended from the bottom. I can do the same with OctaCore by seeing just the diamond achievements that I made in all of these different areas of life and easily add new ones if I forgot to add them. Okay, let me go back and just check through these. So I'm just going to check the filters to see if I did any recents, but I think I've done them before, so they look really solid already. And this one is showing a year that you've did it, plus OctaCore as well. So in all of these views, they're going to be completely identical and just change with these rankings. So over here, I've got the mini guides, I've got the tier list mini guide, achievements mini guide, and the main mini guide. I'll also chuck in a projects mini guide because these are all made with projects. And I'll put that right at the end here. Right, that's sweet. Get rid of that. And you've got all the explanations here. Just make sure that's correct. Yep, those are all good. Okay, so what I want to do is probably I just need to copy this mini guide here to all of them because I don't really need to change anything else. So I'm going to do that first before I start any of the other polishing things. So just want to move that. Get rid of this. Alright. So that's taken care of. I can go back to the main achievements tier list. And then start copying the rest of the views. So just like this. Copy it to gold too. Get rid of that. There we go. Do the same for silver. Oh, there's one thing I actually needed to change in the silver. I wanted to make this white. I don't like how the grey looks. Yeah, looks a lot more shiny like this. Okay. Gold is done. We want to go to silver. And that's already copied, so we just need to change the highlight. Ooh. I want to give this a default background. I don't know why that's not working. Go there. And let's try that again. Ah, grey background, that's what we want. Let me just check that it's the same in there. Yep. So this is a silver highlight, and last is the bronze. Get rid of this old scheme. Put a space at the bottom. And even though it says bronze, we're just going to do it orange because it looks close enough. Change this back to default. Okay, cool. And now we have a really seamless navigation system for looking at all of our different achievements in different ways. So if you ever, well, mainly this is to show yourself. The reason why I made Life Game Design specifically a single player game is that all of these achievements that you get are very specific to you, and you don't want to create this with the mindset that you're going to be showing people. It's only people that you really trust, and people that won't alter what you put on your achievements board, basically. So your closest friends. Okay, so now I just want to check the filters of all the other views. Make sure all the properties are showing what I want them to show. Yeah, these look good. Okay. Check silver. I need to add a silver achievement to see this. I'm gonna add a strength, call it squat PR or deadlift PR. Let's say it was 120 kg. Nice, so it shows there. Let's do the date. Let's say this was in 2023. And I've got it showing up all over here, and the year as well. That shows really well. Nice. The last is bronze. So bronze is the baseline level of achievement. So it's not that these aren't important, it's that this is what everything starts from. Alright, that's our achievements OctaCore and tier list. We've got the main achievements board here, and the last thing for us to do is the tasks. Now, I actually haven't started this, so this will be the main from scratch one that we want to do. So I want to make this full width. I'm going to go back and copy one of these. So I'll copy this because it's got the same main layout that I want. Do that, highlight the tasks yellow, make this not highlighted, and then I want to replace this with task. Oh, I've got task achievements. Don't want the advanced one. There we go. That's what I want. move this. I think I'll have to center it using spacebar, like that. And then I want basic as a tick, as a yellow tick. And then I want this to be advanced. Just want to move this a bit closer. Cool. So it's nice and centered like this. Let's see if... Nah, yeah, that's good spacing. Okay, cool. So I just want to link these pages properly because they're on the old ones. So achievements. Would it pop up? I've got to task achievements. Cool, and this would be advanced. Oh, it's already there. Cool, just gonna drink some water. Okay. And I just want to make sure we're good. Settings side, okay. So I want to make a call out box for both of these to set up what we're going to be doing. Let me just pull up my reference. So I want a checkbox here. I want to get rid of the type something text. Put a bar. Put a toggle on top of it. I'm going to steal it from my original one. There we go. Basic views of your task achievements. And I want the achievements mini guide here. And the main mini guide. I also want a tasks mini guide that I'm going to take from my dev page. And it didn't link, unfortunately, that's fine. And now I need to add the actual database. Now that's done. So / linked view of database. Choose tasks. Now what I want is a gallery of, I kind of want just like a wall of things that we've achieved in terms of tasks. So I've got it here. I want to take off the sorting so it doesn't show me that. It just shows me a big wall. So group by none and get rid of this ugly ass thing. And change the title to this. Make a little trophy. Cool, this is how I want it to be. But I'm going to make the layout small. Like that, so I can show more things here. And I'm going to adjust the properties, yeah, that's cool. And adjust the filtering, so it only shows me things that are achieved. Nice. And I want to have an OctaCore board too. So I'll duplicate this, call it OctaCore. I need to check out the filtering because that's something I actually forgot. So yeah, I want this to be descending. Change the icon for this to the OctaCore symbol. And change this to a board layout. Make it small. No card preview, that's fine. And I'm actually going to change this to not show the status because we already know that this is achieved things. And then for our group, we're going to, I don't know if, let's see what it looks like grouping it by status. Okay, yeah, I do like that. So we're going to leave it like this so we know that these are all achieved things. And then we don't need to show the other. Okay, and let's do the same here. So let's fix the grouping, put the coloring in, hide empty groups, unchecked, sub items. Ooh, we don't have sub items. We need a subgroup by status and set it to achieved. So it shows us like this. That looks really nice. I'm going to get rid of the status here and the priority and just show the projects, the OctaCore, and the task state. Okay. I think I may swap around and put the projects underneath so you can see this all lined up properly. And I'm going to do the same here. Cool, that looks a lot more uniform. Alright, and then I want to show my basic views of tasks. So I've got to show the search bar, which is just a table view with a load limit to 10. And I want to show all of the tasks, like this. No filter, load limit to 25, that's fine. And I want to show active tasks, which are focusing, actioning, and awaiting. Get rid of this, check the filters, and then change the icon. Cool, so this looks pretty much exactly the same as how our projects work. So you've got active, all projects, and search. For tasks, it's the same, active, all tasks, search. Okay, so I've got achieved and OctaCore there. That is, I believe, enough for the basic views. And then I want to copy the same thing and apply it to the advanced views. So one thing I'm missing here, I just realized, is the icon menu bar. So let's copy this. Nice, okay. That looks right. Let's just make sure we haven't missed it in all of these other ones. Right, we're sweet. Go to tasks, that looks good. Cool, we can copy all of this, add it to the advanced view. We need to make this full width. Okay. And we need to highlight this. And now we just need to change these to more advanced views of our tasks. Cool, so what I want to show is also a year breakdown. So I'm going to group these by year completed, or by the date, and then do the date by the year, and show the newest first. I'm going to change the icon to a calendar. Well, I'll change it to a globe because it's the year. And so you can easily see tasks that don't have a date and easily add the date of them. One thing I also want to add to both views is a list of just achieved ones. So I'm going to take this view, turn it into a table, and just call it list. So I'm going to find the line, call it list. I'm going to get rid of all of these properties and just do it from scratch. Make sure it shows the date descending, that's good. And I actually want to group this by the date and do the date by the year and show the newest first. So that means all the ones without dates are up here, and you can easily click them together and just easily assign a date to them. Cool. So I'm going to have to go make that in the other one, but that's fine. Just want to make sure that these are all the right length. This doesn't matter. The task date is fine. Projects. And I want to show the status of the project. So this will show me the status of the project. And I also want to show the main areas, if it's attached to an area. Okay, so that's all I want to show for that. I'm just going to try and copy that the best I can to the next one over here. Should have made it from the start, but that's fine. So I'll duplicate this and do exactly what we just did. Make it a table. And then show this. I'm just going to extend these and make everything match. Group by the year, or by the date, and select by year, and newest first. So if I did this back in time in 2023, then it will separate it like that. Okay. So now with this achieved view, I want to change it a bit, and the same with the OctaCore, because these are the advanced views. And what I want to do is basically just make it so it's a bit more of a better experience of looking at what you're doing. So for me, I think the way that I want to see it is that it shows you what you've done in each month of the current year. Because in terms of tasks, you're going to get a lot done. So what I want to do is adjust this to the date. So by year, so the start date or the end date is relative to this year. Month. And so with this, you'll be able to see every month that you've made achievements in and what that look like. So if I go to date, I'm going to group by the task date, do the date by the month, and keep it to oldest first, because let's just do an example. If I make this January, I want to see what my year has looked like chronologically. So I'm going to change this to calendar. I'm going to do this in the same manner, OctaCore plus month. Subgroup this by the date, by month, and oldest first. That's cool. Okay, and so now I can see things without a date and put them in really easily, and it will show me even which year these are from, but that means I need to do it to this year too. So date is this year. Date. Cool. So this is only showing me things for this year. which I intentionally want. Because if it's not this year, then I just want to see a breakdown of all of the years. Okay, so that's all there. And finally we have this list. Cool, so now we just need to explain in these database view explanations what's going on in each of these. So I'm just going to set up the icons, use these same things, and just copy what it says here. Task achievements this year by month. Need to make sure that they see that this is from this year. I'm going to copy this. Underline it, bold it, and do the same for the year. Okay, that's the boring stuff out of the way. Just going to check the mini guides are linked properly. Okay. So now we've got basic views of our achievements, and we also have advanced views of our achievements. And it's going to be really cool when you see, how your year has looked in basically all these different areas of life as you go along through logging all of this stuff. Cool, so that is pretty much it. We've got a tier list showing us all of our most fulfilling achievements by tier list, by these different sections. We've got an OctaCore specific one, which basically just shows us how the different areas of our life are going, and we can have advanced views of that as well. And then we have the achievements homepage, which helps us with the navigation and just shows us immediately what we've done in all the last 25 achievements that we made in both of these. And I think I will add a tasks page to this as well, just so it follows what you're seeing up there too. So let's make this a gallery. Let's call it tasks. Get rid of that. Hide that. Group by nothing. Well, actually, we'll group by status. So we can see that all of these things are things that we've achieved. And change the properties. So I'll leave the status there for this one in case you want to change it really quickly. And I'll just show those. Put the projects underneath like that. And correct the filtering. And just make it smaller cards. Alright, that looks cool. So now we can see our recent ones, OctaCore, tier lists, and tasks. So that's pretty much it for the build. I need to give this an extra database explanation just for tasks. And that's pretty much it for the build. So if you were doing this in your own workspace, you would pretty much just lay this out like that and copy the way that I did these little tab bars. Just link up the pages, make sure you do it in a database like this, and then you get to navigate your Notion workspace pretty much like a web page in a way, and one that is both functional and very aesthetic at the same time. If you want to just download this for free, you can in Life Game Design Lite, which is in the description below, so you don't have to put in the same amount of work I just did and figure out all this stuff for yourself. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you learned something to either just steal for inspiration for your own workspace, or it was just helpful to learn more about how you can lay out your pages or whatever. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Catch you in the next build one.